Set up your interview with success that we're going to launch now. So I'm going to bring in our co-host, Mr. Jeffrey Lewis, he's gonna rock the house. He's the regional director for the East Coast of Florida. He's just an incredible person, a master motivator. So, Mr. Lewis, are you there, sir?
I am here. How's it going, Mr. Gonzalez?
Fantastic, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing well, enjoying the Labor Day weekend, having a blast.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I appreciate your leadership, my friend. I'm going to give you the floor. It's all yours.
Excellent, sir. Thank you. I do appreciate it. And look, everyone, I actually have the opportunity today to introduce an individual that literally has hit many milestones with our company, 150K ring earner, definitely a leader in the country that he serves, like the country, right, of British Columbia. He lives in that area of Canada. Without further ado, I'd like to bring to you six-figure ring earner, executive director, and some millionaire club member, Mr. Ken Smith. Mr. Smith, are you there?
I am. Thanks, Jeffrey. Welcome. It's great to be here.
Oh, listen, I appreciate you for doing this at such a short notice. And, there's a backstory about myself and Mr. Smith. At one point in time, the company was going through a transition. And Mr. Smith put together a few things, a few bullet points of information for several people to feed into. And that alone was one of the rocks that I stood on. Let me know that the future was definitely bright. So I appreciate him for what he did. And so look, I don't have too much time. I want to jump right into the questions with you, right? So Mr. Smith, you've been involved with the company since 1990, right? And so you've seen a lot with the company. So what drew you to Legal Shield in 1990? Like, what said, this is definitely the opportunity for me?
All right. Well, listen, I've been involved with this company since 1999.
Oh, 99.
But since 1990, I've been working full-time from home in network marketing. So that really kind of explains what drew me here, because I was with a company that was purchased by Legal Shield, which was then called Prepaid Legal Services. And what really inspired me was desperation, because what happened is that when the company was purchased, they didn't have any intention of opening in Canada. So my wife and I went 11 months with no income whatsoever. Wow. So if you're ever in a corner and you can't figure out how to get motivated, just shut off your income for 11 months and you'll see what we did. we really had to get after it, but we did. We were so desperate, so in need of capitalizing on our good fortune. And of course, it was nowhere near as broad-based and accomplished as it is now. But we generated $108,000 in our first 8 months because we didn't have any other choice. We just had to go out there and get after it, or get out on the street and have not a roof over our head. So that was really what drew us to the opportunity. So we are certainly not unfamiliar with the industry of network marketing, but boy, we know the difference between a Rolls Royce and a bicycle for sure. And that's about the difference between Legal Shield and any other company that's in that space.
Oh man, that is so well put. And I love how you said that. You said, shut off the income for 11 months and things are going to change. So let me ask you, so one of the questions I want to ask you is that, you've seen the company through so many transitions, what would you say was the factor that allowed you, or some factors that allowed you to stick and stay and be committed as long as you did? What would you say were those factors?
Oh, I'm glad you asked this question, because this is something that I like to share with people. When I got started, we weren't even open here, so we didn't have any frame of reference. We had a brand new law firm. They didn't know what they were doing. I certainly didn't know what I was doing. And my wife and I both do this together, but we didn't have any examples. We didn't have any success stories. Nobody had used the plan at all. So we were just kind of starting from grassroots, but we were excited, which is an important thing. And when we got started with the company, they were only open in 26 U.S. states and not open in our country at all. And, over the years that we've been here, they eventually, as most of us know here, opened up right across the U.S. In fact, a few years ago, it was Alaska that opened. But the first 2 years that we were open here in Canada, we were only open in 2 provinces, and there are 10 provinces and 3 territories. So that was just getting our toes in the water. And then for the first 20 years, we were only open in BC, Alberta, Manitoba, and Ontario, which is about 30% of the country. And we didn't have anywhere near the coverage. We didn't have certainly monitoring. We didn't have trial defense. We didn't have a whole bunch of things that are offered in the U.S. marketplace. But over time, the company just continued to grow and evolve and advance. And one of the biggest things, of course, that happened is that the acquisition of the company, because when we started, it was Prepaid Legal Services. And in 2011, we were purchased. It was a $651 million acquisition by MidOcean Partners. And, I'd not heard of them. But then when I discovered who they were and what they brought to the table, I was just astounded. I thought something's up here. Nobody's going to write a check for $651 million unless there's something behind the curtain. And so I always share with people that website, which is www.midoceanpartners.com. And, when you go there and you see that they purchased all kinds of banks, insurance companies, IT, manufacturing. But one of the things that really captured my attention is they had invested in a lot of companies that are globally recognizable brands now. They saw the future in companies like Jenny Craig and LA Fitness and Totes Isotoner, Bushnell Binoculars, Paradise Theme Park, South Beach Diets, all these companies that had a lot of potential. But when they came along and put their financial wherewithal and business acumen behind it, it became a reality. So that was great. Amazing things happened. And, that was in 2011. In 2014, we got a new CEO, the most incredible individual, most impactful for our company, Mr. Jeff Bell. And I started thinking, well, what's this guy got to say for himself? And I thought, well, he only launched Netflix, Xbox. He was with Ford Motor Company for 12 years in Spain, Italy, and the United Kingdom. He was with Daimler Chrysler and launched the Stow and Go Jeep, the four-door Jeep, I'm sorry. And so he's somebody that had such an incredible track record that I thought, well, what's he going to do now? And that's when he launched the smartphone app. And then, oh my gosh, the roof came off. All of a sudden, here we go, at your fingertips, affordable access. And so what kept me in? Everything.
So I love the way you're able on call to just bring up all this information, because a lot of times I don't think people take a lot of time to look under the hood. And obviously you have. And so really what you're telling us is if we just stop and take a minute and see what's in our hands, there's no way you leave, right? There's no way you don't see this as a golden opportunity. I appreciate you for sharing that. Let me ask you, what do you think is the most exciting thing about Legal Shield today? Like, what is that one thing that you think that makes you the most excited about Legal Shield today?
Well, there's two, because, once we started to enjoy the incredible growth and expansion and, success after success after success, is that in February of 2018, it captured the attention of a huge organization, a $19.5 billion organization called Stone Point Financial Group. And so that is a company that they're one of the major stakeholders in Berkshire Financial, which is Warren Buffett's organization. I mean, Warren Buffett's the third wealthiest man in the world, right? So, if you've ever, talked to anybody about our business, you run into people, hey, is that one of those things? And, are you still in that legal thing? And it's like, are you still that job thing? Because somebody just paid $1.2 billion with a B to purchase 52% of our company.
Nice.
So, a lot of times I think it's so important to know that, even if you're already in the business, is that every once in a while there's somebody that, thinks they know more than what they really do. And just about every major success that we're all taking for granted right now was criticized, and then it was violently opposed, and then we all became users of the service. Most of the things that this is my first time on this particular platform, the StreamYard, right?
Right.
Because, I was told about it, right? So nobody's probably going to get paid for it, but I can see myself using this over and over again. So I guess the one thing is just the continuous growth and development and upward successes that we have. And then the community of individuals that are forward thinking, positive, willing to assume self-responsibility. And you just cannot, save yourself from being the beneficiary of the people that you surround yourself with. So what an amazing community this is, regardless of what people's objectives are. Some people love the social aspect here. Many are just thrilled about that extra handful of 100 hours, $100 a month or something extra. And then, we do have no limitations. My gosh, when you look at, just go and Google and see some of the top income earners in the entire industry, and you'll see a couple of names pop up from our company. And we're only 48 years old. Some of these companies are older than that, right?
I'm telling you.
It's hard to put my finger on one thing, but I guess if it had to be the one thing, it would be the smartphone app. We're in the app-based economy, and you are going to be pretty heavily challenged to find anybody that doesn't have their fingerprints on a mouse, on a laptop, on an iPad, I mean, any kids that are over 6 years of age, they've already got a couple of years experience of going online and doing YouTube and watching JoJo or whatever they happen to be, right? So I grew up in a family and in an industry where I was in retail, and what we used to do is do everything we can to get people to come to our location. We'd have the radio station there on Friday night and Saturday. We'd have pony rides, free hot dogs, come on in and see what we got, right? So that was all about getting them to come to us. Now, where do we go? We go right where all of us are right now. Everybody's online. So if we make ourselves available right where people are at, then that just makes it more convenient for everybody.
I tell you, and I mean, you said so much there. I mean, so chock full of information, everything from community to growth and development to social media to technology, all the things that people in corporate America are always complaining about. We have it right here. I want to ask you, being with the company so long, you've definitely seen your share of associates on your team and other people's team. What would you say makes a good associate? What is the makeup of a great associate to you?
Well, I mean, it's first of all, willing to work. I mean, this is not a get rich quick scheme. It's not a lottery. So, you got to be careful that you don't set up unrealistic expectations, but everybody's working at something anyway. So willing to work, coachable is the big thing. I mean, we didn't spend 48 years putting a system together that somebody would pay, $1.2 billion for half of it. For somebody to come along and say, hey, watch me. Have they ever tried this? Oh, yeah, they've tried everything. Just stick to the system and you're going to get the successes that you want. So coachable, willing to work. And then, of course, willing to show up. I mean, my goodness gracious, it's easier than ever before now to show up at events. But even if it isn't, when things get back to what we might call normal, people can just really get out to their local marketplace and, if you've got a job, a job, if it's just kind of a conventional one, you're going to be expected to do about 40 hours. That's what they say. And they usually be able to kind of trick you into an extra 10 a week for some reason or another, right? So I think those are the three basic things. And then, of course, it's just a question of some people, you can't assume that everybody has the same goals and objectives. So my most favorite definition of success is being in the process of creating that which is most important to you. So I think sometimes we might scare people away because their highest priority isn't becoming a millionaire, or even being a six-figure earner, or even being a $50,000 ring earner. So let's find out what people want, and then this is a vehicle that they can get it in. And everybody's contribution is really what speaks to the fact that we're having so much success at reaching people, empowering people, doing something noble instead of just replacing a product or a service that people can get at gosh knows how many other places, right?
Sure. Let me ask you a question. So if you got started today with all that wealth of knowledge, and everybody wants to ask these types of questions, right? What would you do differently that you didn't do when you got started? And I mean, obviously you got to an electric start, right? $100,000+ in that much time. But what would you do differently, knowing what you know today?
I would be a little bit more dependent on the system, because I must confess that my background was sales and marketing. So I could probably, if something could be sold, I could probably sell it myself. But, there's a question you have to ask yourself is, and it's this, is what I'm about to do to this person something they could do to somebody else immediately without me being there? And so I still fall into that trap because, as you can tell, it's not too hard for me to talk or to tell you. But
You're fine.
But I'm guessing that most people won't be able to repeat what I just finished saying. This is just for this purpose. So sometimes, rather than being the message, it's more about being the messenger. And so you may not do the world's greatest presentation every time, but you can have 500 presentations that are mediocre. It's going to outstrip any time that you can do 10 a day yourself.
I hear you. Okay, so I got one more question for you today. And by the way, I appreciate it. I mean, I wish I could take notes about this, but it looks impolite on StreamYard. But I'm going to have to definitely go back and watch some myself. I want to ask you, what's next for you on your journey with Legal Shield?
Well, the next thing is that we just recently, qualified for the $150,000 ring, and we were kind of thinking about the $200,000. And we did get on a call that you were on, and somebody called us out, which is what we like to hear. And they said, you're going small here. Like, let's get real. So we've reset our goal to 300.
Ken, we're nationwide now. So if you put it out there, all right, go ahead.
Yeah. I have to burn my excuses.
Go ahead. Oh.
Yeah, so that's that's a ring, but I mean that's not everything. The bottom line here is that we just feel that we could do this anyways. We don't have to really think that hard about it. So how many people are out there in a similar situation to what we were in that are desperate? And somebody was patient enough with us that we were the kind of person that you want to find, because we were told, hey, listen, don't even hesitate. Call us any time of the day or night. And we did. We probably almost drove them crazy, but that was John and Darcy Hoffman, who they make $800,000 a year right now. But we didn't hesitate to ask advice. And that's the one thing I think a lot of people are preconditioned that, because I see the occasional resume, and every once in a while there's a little shed of truth on a resume.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Usually it's an exaggeration, right? So if you got a resume, got a job, then you sure wouldn't want to go to the boss and say, listen, I'm not too sure how to do this. Can you help me? So you're so hesitant to ask for advice. And really, my final thought here is the only thing that we're marketing is access to information. We've got lawyers, we've got investigators, we've got your upline, we've got your network vice president, we've got your regional directors, and we have 700 employees at the corporate office. And you've already paid for that when you have your $99 application in place and your membership. So how much sense does it make to go like, okay, all those people are there. They've been part of building this company. Somebody paid $1.2 billion for half of it. So I think I'll go and think about maybe we could try this, or maybe I'll try that, or maybe I'll Google something like, it's just, you do not walk into a Staples. You don't walk into Sam's Club or something and have it look much different in one city than it does in another, because the system is the solution. And that's the most difficult thing to embrace. And so that's really what you're looking for, I think, is somebody that is, and I heard you say this, I think this the other day, as being a copycat. It's hard to be a copycat if you copy the right cat. So, there's a lot of people willing to set an example. It doesn't cost them anything to lead the pack. And if you follow those individuals that are out there, this is just such an incredible, and it was such an honor to have had the opportunity to work with and get to know quite well Mr. Stonecipher, the founder of the company, because one of the legacies he left behind is creating this incredible environment, this community, this this unusual situation. It's kind of a bubble in a sense that we're in, because people are so positive, forward-thinking, supportive. And the bottom line is, you're not going to get that everywhere else. So you have to come back every now and then and kind of recharge your batteries to realize that there are positive people around that are willing to help you out. So those are kind of my thoughts. I definitely appreciate it. It's an honor to be invited on. And once again, thanks so much for your interviewing.
Mr. Smith, any opportunity I get to sit with you and just kind of glean some information is refreshing. I'm leaving the call now even more excited about Legal Shield than I was before. And I mean that wholeheartedly, because it's not all the time that we really get to get under the hood and really see the inner workings and understand the girth of what we have. And you've done an excellent job. There's no wonder why you are the vice president of Western Canada. We really appreciate you. Mr. Gonzalez, that ends it for our interview with Success. Back over to you, sir.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Smith, again, for spending some time with us. I mean, I couldn't stop taking notes the whole time I was here. I couldn't see your faces. I heard the laughing, and I felt the nodding, but I was just taking notes, man. It's just been amazing. Thank you so much for spending the time with us, because I know there's a million things that you could be doing right now. So thank you, sir. I appreciate your leadership and your knowledge.
Thanks for inviting me. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a great day, my friend. All right, Mr. Lewis. Thank you, sir.
No problem, sir. Back over to you. Back next week, sir.
All right, folks. So there you have it. It's been an amazing interview there today with Mr. Ken Smith from Canada. But now we're going to go ahead and slide into some recognition. I want to recognize some MVPs here in Florida, some amazing individuals that made it happen last month. So we want to recognize everything that you did. Extraordinary job, ladies and gentlemen. Extraordinary job. Well, look, hey, those were the MVPs for Florida. They made it happen last month. The top producers, top recruiters, top small business plan sellers going out and protecting small business owners. We appreciate all your hard work, and I look forward to seeing everyone else's name scroll on there for next month's MVP segment. So, folks, we got 3 days left for an amazing incentive that's put in place to help you guys make more money. We got that Labor Day PC challenge, folks. It's just extra money. Look, if you do 60 in one, that's an extra $100 bonus. If you do 120 in one, that's an extra $200 bonus, guys. And if you want to, multiply your bonus by 4 there, 240 with 2 will make it happen for you. That's a $400 bonus on top of everything else that you're getting. But you got to get it done by the 10th of this month, folks. I believe in you. I know that you could get that done. So let's make sure we're doing that. And look, we got another great Super Saturday coming up. Look, our last Super Saturday was off the hook, ladies and gentlemen. We had over 2,000 eyeballs. We had over 2,000 viewers. When it was all said and done, it was just an outstanding event. So me and Mr. Josh Lockhart, I'm the MVP for the state of Florida. Mr. Josh Lockhart's the MVP for the state of Georgia. We're bringing both states together because, together we're better, folks. We're doing an amazing, amazing event on September the 12th from 3 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. And we got a very special guest speaker, none other than Mr. James Kelly. So make sure that you tap into that. Now, we do have 2 different sites for you to plug into that. All right, you could either go to FloridaLSZoom.com or you could go directly to it at LegalShieldSoutheast.com. Again, that's LegalShieldSoutheast.com. Also, ladies and gentlemen, we got an incredible leadership convention live streaming right into your living rooms. Make sure that you guys are getting registered for that. It's going to be an exciting event, folks, super exciting. And make sure that you're also tapping into your weekly regional trainings, guys. We got some incredible leaders in every region here in Florida that are there to help you, lift you up, get you trained up, help you build local relationships with the leaders that are in your area. Just a phenomenal opportunity. Make sure you're checking your emails as well as the Legal Shield calendar so you can take advantage of that. And we'll be here every Monday night, bringing it to you live. We are bringing success to the table, baby, because we're Florida. We're the ring earner state. So come here, get your dose of the Florida Live, of the Interview with Success, Monday nights at 6:30. Have a great week, folks. God bless you all. We will see you soon. All right, I was thinking that jingle. So what do you think, man? I spruced it up a lot.
Man, that was clean. I love it, man. It's getting it's crazy, man. This thing is hard, man. I think people love it, man. People talk about
it's a big hit.
This is crazy, man.
I put a good another 4 hours today in making it. How'd you like that recognition piece?
The recognition piece is what I'm talking about. I loved it, man. I loved how you go through.